Okay, everyone, today we're going to be talking about the perfect job interview. And does it really exist? Because with all the problems with the economy, many people will be looking for new jobs. And in some cases, companies will be asking people to, re-interview for the jobs they had before they went on furlough. As such, it's always a good time to start thinking about how to interview for a job. Most larger companies have a series of interviews, and a person is going to have to go through a bunch of people in order for that company to make a decision. And so, even in an era where companies are trying to quote unquote improve the candidate experience, they will still have their preference on how many interviews they have and how many interviews you'll have to go through. So this could take the form of a series of interviews or a group interview, which is becoming much more common these days. Adding to this is the additional complication of more interviews being done via video with Zoom or other platforms. And apparently that's the most common, but also companies use Microsoft Teams, some use Skype, and all those types of things. So this is going to call for a lot more flexibility on your part as the candidate, especially in how you approach an interview successfully. So what makes up the perfect interview and how do you prepare for it? Well, here are some tips to do this. So one, do some research about the company. This is simple groundwork, and you probably want to do this anyway since you'll want to know what you're getting into. After all, if a company doesn't have a good reputation, probably not going to be the right company for you. Most people over prepare. They get so concerned with what they will have to say and they have to try to have a perfect answer to questions. And when that happens, they get thrown by the one question that they didn't prepare for. Remember, it's your career and your life that you're talking about. So you really don't need notes or cue cards. I mean, you know this stuff. The next point is prepare to listen to the questions. Now that you're set and you're confident that you know your own history and background, you can make sure that you listen to the questions you're being asked. So, remember, and this is an important point, if you don't understand the question or you're not sure about what the interviewer wants to know, feel free to ask that person to clarify. Rather than guessing, just say something along the lines of, "I'm not sure I understood you. Could you clarify your question?" Next, if you don't have experience in a particular area, you can always show how the experience you do have applies to that thing that they've asked you about. And you can also talk about how you've been able to apply your ability to learn new things quickly to come up with positive solutions to problems. Next, make sure you have your own questions to ask the interviewers. There are many interviewers who are really turned off when a candidate doesn't ask any questions. Remember, you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Do you actually want to work with this company and this team? It's something that you really, I think, would be well advised to find out in the interview process rather than after you've joined them. So here's an exercise to figure out what's important to you in this job that you're interviewing for. Make a list of, say, 7 of the most important things that comes to mind in your next job. It could be more. I wouldn't go less than 5. Now, this could include the type of company, the company mission, the type of boss, the company culture, all of these things. Once you have your list them in the order of importance. So reorder them if the order of importance is not, where you want it to be. So obviously the most important, make it number one, then the next and the next and the next. Now, look at your list and see which ones are must-haves and which ones are nice-to-haves. And you'll notice that actually some of them might be variations on the same thing, so you can take those off or combine them. Now that you have this list, you can keep that in mind as you're speaking with the interviewers, and you can form your own questions about these areas and around how what they tell you about the job and the company matches with your list of what's important to you. Remember, a job interview is about communicating, and it's a two-way communication. So it's important that you make sure to interview the company at the same time. What's the perfect job interview? It's the one that's successful and that does not mean the one that gets you the job. It's the one where you find the information, you make contacts. If it gets you the job and it's the right job, then that's perfect. If you find out it's not the right job, that is equally perfect, because sometimes it's better to not go into a situation where you're going to be unhappy. So the perfect job interview, it's the one where you get to where you want to go and you're happy you're there and you have the opportunity to grow. So please remember to add your questions and comments below, and stay tuned as my next book, Influential Rapport, is still on track, and we're in the edit stage now. And for more information and resources, go to the links below at jc2consulting.com, and look forward to the next video. And you can also get more information on coaching for your career, sales training, or NLP and hypnosis training. I am also looking for people to join my ARC team, people who will get an advanced copy of the book and read through it. When it comes out, I hope you'll buy a copy, like a Kindle version or electronic version. I will also be sending a signed hard copy for the people who do that and leave a positive positive review. So thanks very much. Look forward to the next video, and again, leave your comments and questions below. Thanks.